it was really cool because you started out, everyone is wearing masks now, but is it really that different than before? It feels like the fabric on their face is just a physical representation of the mask they already wore. And I don't even blame them anymore, living in this world that's lined with stores, ads convincing them if they simply walk in the door, they can leave with something new that makes them better than before. So I think this is incredible because I have taken off probably hundreds of masks in my life, and there's probably still some to take off in the future. Do you remember where you were when that came through?
I do.
Where were you?
Exactly where I was. I was in Encinitas, California. Shout out to North County, San Diego.
Yeah, my old home.
Mine too. I can't believe we didn't know each other when we were there, man. That's where I was when the whole COVID thing started. And if you remember, that no one knew what was going on initially. So we stocked up on supplies and just said, I'm going to be here for a while, it looks like. And then there was this day where I walked down and there's these train tracks. And so I was sitting on one of the benches there watching people walk, right? But for whatever reason, and I'd done this 2 days earlier, on this day, that was the day that everyone was starting to wear masks. And I just looked around and everyone was wearing masks now. And I don't know what had happened in those 3 days where it must have been something maybe the president said or whatever. But the thing was, I had this thought, I can't see anybody. I can't actually see anyone. And then I had the next thought, which was, if they weren't wearing masks, would you have even noticed them? And that got me thinking, how much do I really actually see people? How much do I really see someone? Even if they're walking down the street and I notice them, do I really see them? And I think that in society, people are craving authenticity, and yet at the same time putting up their own walls around the truth of how they're feeling with themselves. So many people are not being honest with themselves about the fact that they're unhappy in their marriage or their job or where they live, or they feel really lonely or whatever it is. And so I sat there and I had my poetry journal with me, and I wrote that, so many people are wearing masks now. Is it really that different than before?
Yeah, I love the microcosm of like the physical mask, the emotional mask, because taking off the mask can be fucking confronting.
That's so good. I know I can cuss.
Oh yeah, you can totally cuss. Because I think about like one of the biggest masks that I wore in my life was, if my physical body isn't perfect, then I'm not worthy. Because I came from like this fitness background, and how confronting that has been for me to just be like, hey, I'm a human being. I have my own experience about loving my body no matter what's going on, no matter how much stress I have. And I lead this movement of wellness force. And so it's full front and center right now. It's the most weight I've ever carried, dealing with myself in COVID. And you know what mask I'm taking off? That I have to be perfect. That I have to be like this soldier of truth, 24/7, 365. It's just not real anymore. So I'm curious for you, man, like, was there one moment that jumps out the most? Like, what comes up for you when I ask you, when did you wear the biggest mask, and how did you take it off?
Wow. That's a really good question. I would say that for me, the biggest, what pops into my head right now is that growing up, I was the son of Asian immigrant. My dad's from the Philippines, immigrated to this country when he was like early 20s. And I didn't get a ticket to puberty at the same time as everybody else. I was late to the game. And so when I entered high school, I weighed 73 pounds. My freshman year of high school, I was 5 feet tall. I weighed 73 pounds, and I looked way more Asian. And so I just had this thing, and where I so badly wanted to be seen as cool and popular and sexy and all of these things. And I just didn't think that was in the cards for me. My dad is 5'5" and my mom is 5 foot tall. And so I am nearly 6 feet tall. And my mom says it was sheer willpower that I just willed myself, that I refused. But I, at that time, went, I'm going to be the tiny Asian kid forever. And so I was retreating into my mind as my superpower at that time. And I went, but I can win this game of being popular. Like, high school's a game. I can win that.
Yeah.
And so,
and in some ways, social media is the same.
Similar, right?
Yeah.
And so by my senior year, fast forward here, my senior year, I was multiple varsity sports. I was the president of a club. I was elected to student body. I was scholarship to college for academics, and I then win homecoming king. And winning homecoming king was my holy grail. That was the thing that I thought meant that I had won high school. You know, I was the most popular person. I thought, you know, Varsity Blues and all these movies, not only will all the girls want me, all their hot moms will want me. That's how this works, right? And I remember winning homecoming king, and the next day waking up and feeling no different. All of my insecurities were there, all of my fears, my doubts, all of the anger was there. And even worse, actually, I didn't have another mountaintop. That was the holy grail. And it seems like common sense, but I really want this to land for people, because for most people, while you could hear, well, of course, winning homecoming king is not going to change. Yes, but what is that thing for you? The person listening to this right now, what is that thing? Because most people have something that they think is going to change their world when they get it. And so at 18, the mask that was coming off was, whether it was nature or nurture, I don't know what it was. I'm so blessed to have the mindset, instead of going, okay, what's the next thing that I need to do to satisfy this? Oh, that must have just been a fluke. I went, what if everything else they've told me is a lie? And that's when I started questioning. You know, they tell me, go to college, get a career, get the thing, and then you're going to be happy. Well, I started questioning that at 18. I hit a mountaintop, and I feel so blessed, because so many people don't hit that until they're in their 40s or ever. Mm-hmm. And that's a big part of who I work with now as one-on-one clients, are these people in their 40s who have hit their multi-million-dollar businesses and things and are going, I'm feeling empty on this mountaintop. What's for me here? Yeah. And I got to have that experience at 18. And I feel like that was the first mask that I got to take on, because I had all of these masks that contributed to me being able to be the one at 18 who had won all of these things and all of that.
One of the other things in your poem, your spoken word, that I loved, it was towards the end, and you said, if I'm concerned about you hurting me, then certainly there's bound to be a poor connection surrounding me, because what you found isn't actually me. A clown, my frown, painted into a big smiley. I'm good, I'm fine, I'm doing okay. It's this narrative like, we're good, we can be resilient. We're not allowing ourselves as a society to even have a moment where we give ourselves permission to take off a mask. Mm-hmm. Expand on that, because that's a huge part, not just of your poem, but the poem that's living out here for us in society. Mm-hmm. It makes me sad. I was feeling it today anyways, and then I watched your video and I was just like, it hit me. You know, I've been going through personally, and I know everyone in the Wellness Force community has been feeling it too, like, we can't go on like this anymore. We're being forced into a choice point where we're either going to show up without wearing a mask and take full accountability for what that is, aka all the people I've hurt, all the ways I've showed up where I'm fake, all the things that I've lied about, like a full radical emotional inventory, or we're not. We're at this choice point. Mm-hmm. So what do you feel about this?
Well, I feel it's so prevalent for men, especially on this planet, which is this man up. You know, don't let them see you cry. Yeah. Don't let them see you fail. Don't let them see you hurt.